Hi, how you going? So about a week ago I got something quite exciting in the mail. I got the author clock, which is something that we backed about 2 years ago on Kickstarter, and it's finally arrived. During that whole time I was never worried that it wasn't going to arrive because the updates they provided were really great. The concept behind the author clock is that it is a clock that displays a different quote from a book once every minute, and the quote will include the time that it actually is. That's probably a terrible description, but it all makes sense when I get it open. So it came in this really nice packaging. This is volume 1 of the author clock because this is the smaller of the two. There is a larger one. This has got a 4-inch screen. I believe the other one's got a 7-inch screen. So let's get this open. As I said, it's really nicely packaged. It feels like an old cloth-bound book. You open it up, it's got this really nice paper on it, and here you have the clock. Firstly, let's look at the construction of it. So it's a single piece of oak that the whole thing's carved from. It's really nicely done with metal dial there that is your settings button and a metal stand on the back here and an e-ink display on the front, which is really nice to read, and the e-ink works perfectly for this because it actually looks like reading off paper. I feel like they could quite easily have cheaped out on a number of places when they made this, but they haven't. They've made it into this beautiful thing that is a really nice thing in and of itself, and then you add what it actually does and how it operates, and it just becomes quite exciting. So also in the box you get a USB-C cable, it charges on that, and you get about a week of battery life between charges, and then it doesn't take too long to charge. The e-ink doesn't use a lot of power. The other nice thing is that the packaging is all 100% recyclable, which is a nice touch these days. So I've already set mine up. The setup process is quite easy. You connect to the Wi-Fi network within the clock itself. You choose the language you want. There's English, Spanish, French, and German at this stage. You choose whether you want vague quotes, which means instead of saying it's exactly 4:59 p.m, it might say it was almost 5 o'clock. So vague quotes are actually quite cool, and it adds more options to the clock. You also choose whether you want the sweary and explicit quotes. You can turn them on or off at any point in the settings as well. The setup process was quite simple. You connect with your phone, you choose all the options you want, and it's set up within a few minutes. So onto the quotes themselves. There is a new quote every minute referring to that minute of the day from a book, and it tells you the author and the book and gives you the complete quote. There are about 13,000 quotes at this stage, and they're constantly adding more, and there's Wi-Fi in the clock itself, so it will automatically update with new quotes. So I have been having this run for about a week and a bit now, and I still haven't seen the same quote pop up twice, which is really nice. I've got multiple quotes for individual times. The auto updates via Wi-Fi is also really nice because it means that you're not missing out on extra functionality because you haven't updated it or you've forgotten to update that week. I think what I really like about this is firstly, it's an amazing object in and of itself. The oak is beautiful. The whole way that it's made is amazing. But then every minute you've got a new quote from a book, and I've seen a few books that I've read. I've seen a lot of books that I've never even heard of. But it's fascinating, and it's such a cool idea and such a cool thing and well executed that it was worth the wait. Another thing about this that is a good thing and also a bad thing is that every minute you get a flash on the screen, and the flash is to sort of wipe the previous quote away and put a new one up. It's how e-ink operates. And what it means is that in the corner of my eye I'll see the little flash and immediately turn my head and read the quote for that minute. It makes it hard to concentrate on other stuff when I'm trying to get some work done. So I've found that occasionally I'll have to turn it away from myself so that I don't keep getting distracted every minute. But it's a nice problem to have, that this thing is there that I want to look at all the time and I'm never going to get sick of. Another cool thing is that anyone can go to the website of the author clock and upload a quote from their favourite book, which includes the time, and they'll add it to their database and add to the constantly growing number of quotes that they have. As I said, there's 13,000 quotes currently, and that list is constantly growing, so that you'll get multiple quotes for the same time. You'll get, if you add the vague and the approximate quotes, then you just get even more. And yeah, there's always going to be something new to look at. It's a cool way to discover new books and new authors as well. So lots and lots of the quotes. I've never heard of the author. I've never heard of the book. So yeah, I'm super happy with this. So yeah, it's now 1:45, so the quote that we've got is from Amor Towles, The Lincoln Highway, and the quote is, "Finally, at 1:45, my father found the bottom of his coffee cup and pushed back his chair." And it's just a single sentence. It's so much more interesting than just having a clock there. You can turn on just a little digital clock that lives at the top of the screen if you like, but I've decided not to turn that on because I like getting it from the quote itself, and as you can see, the quote is bolded, so you can look just to that, but I find I very rarely look just to the bolded part. I read the whole quote and get the whole experience of the clock. So the thing that this reminds me of is a work of art that I saw a few years ago by Christian Marclay, I believe, called The Clock, where he'd cut together 24 hours of movies and TV shows of people saying the time of a clock in the background, all of those things, so that the movie itself was a living clock, and you could go into the exhibition space where this was on and watch for 10 minutes, an hour, know exactly what the time was because it was always on the screen. And I went in, thought I'd spend 10 or 15 minutes, and an hour and a half later had to pull myself out of there because it was just such an amazing experience. You have this movie with sort of no real narrative, but everything kind of fits together because the clock is ticking in the background or someone's saying the time. Just such an amazing thing, and if you ever get the chance to see it, I highly recommend it. So I believe these are for sale on their website. I got this on Kickstarter, as I said, and they will be selling them. They haven't delivered the large edition yet, but it is on the way, and if it's anything like this, then it's definitely worth getting. So I'll leave a link to the website in the description if you want to get your own. I think they do seem to be a little bit more pricey than when we backed them on Kickstarter, but given how much work and how much time and just what amazing thing they've created, I feel like the money's worth it, and this is something that you'll have sitting on your desk for years to come and be loving the entire time. So that's the author clock. I absolutely love it, and it's such a cool thing that it'll be sitting on my desk forever. It's a cool thing, it's a great clock, and it's just a curiosity, and I love really cool things that people sort of see them and they go, oh my god, what is that? That's really cool. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you've got any questions about the clock, and yeah, I'll see you next week. Bye.